A lady's journal is her most trusted confidant, but every great secret deserves a grand entrance. Today, we craft a cover worthy of a Regency romance. Welcome back to the Manor. I'm Sarah, and before we begin our work today, I must express my deepest gratitude. Your recent comments and unwavering support has been as refreshing as a stroll through the gardens in spring. Thank you for making this community so very special. Today, we reach a most pivotal moment in our assembly. We shall be binding our memories in lace and ribbons, creating a sanctuary for our Regency tale. And of course, no journal is truly dressed for the season without a signature rosewood tassel. A bit of finery to dance along the spine. Now do take note, the Manor gates open for new creative sessions twice a week, every Tuesday and Friday. If you choose to accompany me on this promenade, I promise you this: by the time our season concludes, you shall hold not just a stack of papers, but a fully completed heirloom journal in your hands. To ensure no one loses their way, I have curated all our future lessons into a single playlist. Think of it as your personal map through the Manor, allowing you to return to any chapter with ease. So do be sure to subscribe and ring the little bell. It is, after all, the only way to ensure the footman alerts you the very moment our next chapter arrives. Should you wish to procure these very same patterns and papers for your own journal, you will find a full inventory list tucked discreetly within the description box below. In this video, we are working with the Regency Romance collection, which is available in our Etsy boutique. Now let's begin. So here's what you are going to need for the assembly of your journal cover. You will need some sort of cardboard or chipboard. I usually order my chipboard online. I have it linked below because these are pre-cut 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches, and that is the ideal size for our journal covers, and they have a perfect thickness. I feel makes it a nice sturdy journal. And then I have also cut another piece for the spine, and this is a 2.5 inch spine, and in the same height it's 8.5 here and 2.5 inches here. So these are the three pieces that we will need. I have here some large eyelets. I have here also a Crop-A-Dile, but you can also use any other strong eyelet setter. And I have also here some fabric for the outside and for the inside. And I have fabric linked below. So if you want to follow along, because I found this fabric to be the ideal size for journal covers. I have also here a piece from the add-on kit, which is perfect for the cover page. And here is a piece of the fuzzy cuts that will go on the back. Stones here, appliqué, butterfly, some lace, ribbons. I have here a glue spreader. You can also find this in your kitchen, but I use this as a glue spreader and also as a craft desk cleaner. This is a very good tool to use for making journal covers too. And for glue, I'm using the art glitter glue. This works very well for gluing fabric on cardboard. So you can of course use the glue of your choice. If you use 2 Fabri-Tac or 3-in-1 glue, of course that works very well as well. I just prefer the art glitter glue for the smell reasons. I have here also a glue to glue these kind of decorations on the cover, and some laces, of course, and ribbons as usual. So let's get started with this. So I have here this beautiful fabric that I found online, and it comes usually in a size 18 by 22 inches, which is quite a bit larger, but it is a rectangular layout, which is ideal, and it gives me enough room to cut out the fabric I need. I also ironed the fabric, so we're gonna turn this around like so. So this is how the chipboard is laid out on the fabric. And as you can see, I'm going to leave a 1-inch margin around the chipboard. And the distance here should be not too big and not too small. So this should be probably about a 1/16 of an inch. So once I have found the right layout, what I will do is I will trace the pieces on my fabric, and that helps me when I glue the pieces on. Make sure that these are all lined up nice and straight. If you want to make really sure that it is straight, you can always add a ruler. So I'm using for the fabric the art glitter glue. So I'm going to use this art glitter glue now, and I use a nice generous amount. This is the big bottle of it, so. And then simply so now the chipboard is attached to the fabric on one side, and sometimes what happens is it does warp just a little bit until it's fully dry, but also remember that there will be also glue on this side, and then it will even itself out. This is a fairly thin fabric, so you could try to work it out, not cutting it. This time I'm choosing to cut the fabric, and these kind of tools come in handy, but you can also simply make a line on your own. But what this tool does here, for example, it gives a little gap here between the cut and the corner, and it also ensures that it's actually a nice angle, that it's the perfect bookbinding angle. So I'm going to use this tool. I always wanted to try it, and let's see how that goes. And now we're gluing the sides here to the board, like so. So here I'm using my smaller bottle because we don't need as much. Make sure to pull it well so that we have a nice straight edge here. And when we have glued all 4 sides to the chipboard, we want to make sure to also crease the sides here where the spine is to make sure this is also glued on, just like so. There. Oh, how beautiful is this? To decorate the cover, I like to put some books inside, so it's a nice flat surface. So let's begin to lay out what the cover will look like. So this is the rough layout for my journal cover. So these corners, they will be glued like so. I don't know if you can see that. You will see soon what it looks like so. Then we have our centerpiece, of course, our adornments here, our pearl and butterfly, appliqué, and some hard lace here on the side. So let's attach it on. So that's the corners now. So we want to leave enough space for our large eyelet so that we can have a closure for our journal here. Let's make sure to really pull that tight as possible. So don't worry about all this mess. It shall be covered up with fabric. So the art glitter glue does take a moment to dry, so make sure to keep going back a little bit and make adjustments, keep pressing things on. That's why I like to use some clamps to hold things also in place for a little bit. This glue will dry and then you won't see any of these dots. So let's glue the beautiful centerpiece here. So I like to do the same on the back here before finishing up the front. Only here on the back side, I don't want to put any of these bulky gems because that's where the journal is going to sit on. So it's better to keep things more flat in the back here. I like how these little details are peeking out here, so I don't go all the way flush here.
And while this is all drying, let's put our beautiful ball gown in the back here. So while this is all still drying and setting, we can now move on to the inside part of this journal. And for the inside, I have this delicate striped fabric here. So I want to use that here for the inside. So let's measure how much we need of it. So I like to cut that when I have finished the outside of the journal, and then I know exactly how much I need. So I'm going to double up this fabric. It's a little bit on the thinner side. Sometimes thin is good, and sometimes thicker is better. Now that I have all these different things going on here behind the scenes. So if you do find that this is a little bit too thin, then you can simply go ahead and double up on the fabric. So I went ahead and I have cut 2 pieces of this beautiful fabric. You can also use as a second layer perhaps a blank cotton fabric. I don't have that at hand right now, so I will simply use the same one. And so for this I'm going to use the big bottle again and my little glue spreader here. My scraper glue spreader. Make sure to get the glue all the way nicely out to the edges if you can. But you can always fix it also later with the thinner nozzle. So. I usually don't use that much of this precious glue here, but for the journal cover, it's always an exception, a little bit. There we go. And we want to make sure that it also glues this side here. Of course, the benefit of using fabric is that it makes the journal more sturdy, more durable. So we want to be quite gentle. Just want to make sure that the glue goes here, but in general it is better to just let it set before folding it. That is usually the best policy, to let it all just set like this, and then you can slowly start folding it in. Do not wander off just yet, my dear friends. The true magic lies in the structural integrity of the spine. For a journal that cannot withstand the weight of a summer's worth of love letters is no journal at all. Stay with me as we add the delicate alchemy of our silk tassel at the end. So while this is drying now, and I have these books in between, so that helps, of course, with adhering everything. I want to add now the more bulkier items here. So we have these pretty pearl adornments and our little butterfly here. How cute is that? And let's see how this new glue that I got, how that works. So this is supposed to be for jewelry stones. So especially for jewelry gluing, and I would assume that that is a lot that just came out. I would assume that that should be a very strong hold here. Let's hope I didn't get too much on here. I think pearl in general adds a very beautiful glow to this particular look. So if you can find any kind of pearl decorations for your journal, this might be very beautiful for your overall look here. Ah, this is coming together beautifully. So we are going to let this set. And these books are actually helping with setting the inside. Oh, how pretty. Yeah, it is a very subtle, sophisticated look, these stripes. So this fabric bundle is well worth it. Even though I had to double up, it's a little bit on the thinner side. Oh, the designs are so pretty. I have it linked below, so in case you want to partake. So when you make your journal cover with all these different layers of gluing and things, take your time. That is my little tip here. Make sure to take your time with letting things dry. If you have to, use clamps to make sure that things are glued down or set down, especially with the art glitter glue. The art glitter glue likes a little bit of encouragement, and the clamps are the best way. And overall, when you want to set the lace, use a tweezer or something like it, because for some reason the hands get stuck with the glue and with the lace, and then the lace lifts off and then it doesn't stay. So these are just these little tips and tricks that you can use for your journal cover and in general gluing lace. Yeah, I think we are definitely in a good spot here, and I feel brave enough to now place some eyelets here. So we want to place these. And I want to mark the center here at 4¼ inches, because the total length here is 8½. So 4¼ is the center of this. So we'll put that here. So this is one. And then on the other side, so I'm using the Crop-A-Dile hole punch and eyelet setter, because this is a little more heavy duty. So beautiful. Let's cut this little piece off. Couldn't get. Nice. And the other side. And as you can see, we have here our beautiful couple and our ball gown. So these closures are for any kind of ribbons
that you would like to add as a closure for your journal, we will add that in our next video, because first we need to sew in our signatures. But what I would like to do is now next is to make a little tassel to adorn the back of this journal. So for the tassel, I have gathered some different kind of ribbons and laces, and here these frayed crinkly ribbons. And this is the benefit of doing the journal cover design first, so we know exactly what kind of colors we have, and then we can coordinate our ribbons and laces accordingly to what we have designed here. So this plays back very beautifully. And what I like to do is also to look for any kind of old jewelry, or what you can also now purchase are these chains that are beaded chains by the yard, basically. So if you want to look for these beaded chains by the yard, that is also helpful. Or if you want to upcycle any of your old jewelry that you are not wearing anymore, any old necklaces, that of course is working beautifully as well. So before I go any further, I'm cutting a piece of the embroidery yarn at the ready, so that when I'm ready to tie it all up, I have it ready. So when you are preparing your laces and ribbons, what I like to do is I usually go twice the length of the side of the journal, because that's where it's going to hang down. And then if it turns out I want to change the length a little bit, make it shorter, I can always cut off the ends before adding any final touches to it. And what I like to do is to first layer the ribbons by the widest ones first, and then add like the mid-size ones before putting them all together. So use these here, and then maybe one of these, and this. Let's put some lace in between first. Yeah, some of these, and you can still adjust them as you bunch them up, but and then of course we have our beautiful pearl chain, because this then plays back with this pearl accent here. And now, for a big moment, drum roll. I have here this ring. This is for ring binding loose leaf pages. So if you want to look that up, but that's the idea of it. So let's bunch them all up here like so. So we go here in the middle. And make sure that the closure is here on the top. Perfect. And now we lift it up like so. And make sure everything is adjusted properly, evenly. Both sides are even. Beautiful. And we like what we have here. And then take your embroidery yarn or any other kind of type of yarn that you
would like to use or that you have handy to make the initial tie, that is the one that is holding it very strongly. So and I like to match it with the colors, so that way it can also dangle down. So there we go. Beautiful. And then what I like to do is to add this satin ribbon bow to it. So, and now we can add this lobster clasp here to the bow. That's why I said to keep the opening on the top. So that way this goes in like so. And so this is our bow for our journal. Oh, how pretty. So I wanted to leave this really light and airy and romantic. Oh, I love it. So the satin and the pearl, of course, adds a certain elegance to that. So this will go then here on the back, but I have plans for this. There will be a different kind of lace behind it, but for now, this is where that is. Let's just test it, a little test drive. Oh, I love it. There she is. She is nearly ready to speak. Our cover is draped in its finest attire, and our tassel is as spirited as a dance at the Rosewood Ball. But a shell, however beautiful, requires a heart. Do join me this Friday when the real magic begins. We shall finally sew our 4 signatures into their permanent home and add those final whispered touches that turn a stack of papers into an heirloom. Until then, yours in lace and ribbons, and with much love, Asara. Good day.